Okay, we are live for the second time around. We had technical difficulties, right, Jada?
Yes, we had technical difficulties.
But we're not going to play this music for too long. We're just going to jump right on into it. So I'm going to stop the music right now. And we're just going to start all over again, right, Jada?
That we are.
Okay, so let's just start over again. Brothers and sisters, as we know, there is a narrative being pushed in the news that Russia is the aggressor in the situation happening in Ukraine. But as we know, for those of us who are doing our research, we're finding out that there's a totally different narrative being pushed, and that Russia is really not doing all of the things that they're being accused of.
Right.
So, family, last week I was supposed to go live a couple times and talk to you guys and show you guys some videos about what was really going on in Russia. But unfortunately, I was under the weather and I was not feeling well. I thank Jada and Will for their prayers. So when I heard about this, family, I watch a lot of international news, and I watch a lot of independent journalists from around the world. So I was very surprised when I saw the sister Wazela from African Diaspora News Channel on a they had a newspaper article on her on a website that I watch. So when I saw her on the newspaper article, or in the newspaper article, I should say, I said, let me go over there to the African Diaspora News Channel and watch it, so I can see what she's talking about. Shout out to Phil Scott, brother Phil Scott. We love you over here, brother Phil Scott.
Yes, we do.
And I appreciate you, brother Phil Scott, when you shout out my name that day on your YouTube channel. But anyway, so let's just pull sister up, and we're gonna see what they spoke about concerning Sister Wazela. And then we're gonna get into it, and I'm gonna show you some stuff. Okay, so let's just pull her up. I'm gonna take off the overlay right now. Oh, but before I take off the overlay, family, let me point this out, because I do have to point this out. I'm gonna drop this overlay. Jade, I'm gonna drop you down for a minute, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
I'm not gonna drop you out. I'm going to leave you up, and I'm going to put up, because I have to put it up there. I'm going to put up the Freedom of Information Act. Right. Yes, indeed. We must put up the Freedom of Information Act logo and notice. And we also too have to put up fair use. The fair use notice. So let's put up the fair use notice that we have on the screen. Let's put up the Freedom of Information Act notice that we have on the screen. Because once again, I'm a little nervous today, family. I don't know why. But I'm putting up the logo for the Freedom of Information Act because I am informing my community from around the world of events that may or may not be harmful to my people. So now that I have that out the way, let's bring up Sister Wazela.
Sister Wazela.
Okay, Jada, you wanna read for me? Don't forget to credit the people.
Yes.
For the news article.
Yes, we're going to give credit to Carib Direct. Thank you for exposing this information, and thank you for presenting it. Stranded Tanzanian students given safe haven by Russia.
Did that say by Russia, Jada?
It sure did.
But I thought they said that Russians were the aggressors in what's going on.
That's what I thought too. That's what's all over the news. They're
exactly.
Giving a bad rap.
Exactly. So, Jada, you want to read a little bit of that, and then we're going to show the family the video?
Definitely. Tanzanian students fleeing the conflict in Ukraine are being given safe haven in Russia. The students were studying at SUNY State University in northeastern Ukraine when the fighting started. Now,
family, we have to understand that our brothers and sisters, they were in the Ukraine and they were studying. We're talking about engineers. We're talking about doctors. We're talking about all types of high position levels. They were studying in the Ukraine to have these positions in life, family. So when the fighting broke out, family, it happened in eastern Ukraine where they were at. Okay, family? So we all saw the videos of them being beaten up, not being allowed on the trains and stuff like that, right, family? But it's interesting, family, because Vladimir Putin, he called a ceasefire a couple of times, and I'm going to show you the reason why he called for a ceasefire. It was not the Ukrainians that was asking for a ceasefire. Once Vladimir Putin put out there that he wanted a ceasefire for a certain amount of time or for a day, then the Ukrainian president, he jumped on it and he made it seem like he was the one that was asking for it. But no, in actuality, it was Vladimir Putin that asked for it. And I'm going to show you why Vladimir Putin asked for it. Vladimir Putin and the Russian army, they had been given a safe haven to our brothers and sisters that are over there stuck in the Ukraine, that are being harassed, that are being beaten up, that are being pushed off of trains. The Russian army and Vladimir Putin, under his direction, they have been given a safe haven to our African brothers and sisters that can make it either to a Russian soldier when they see them, or they can make it to a meetup place where the Russians are, where they've been told to meet the Russians at, or they've been told to come to the border if they can make it there. And Russia will take them in. Now, in this video, you're going to see where Russia, not only did they gave safe haven, safe passage to our African brothers and sisters, but they also too have put them up in it kind of looks like a old-fashioned I don't know what you would call it, old-fashioned house, but they've given them housing, they have given them clothing, and they are feeding them. And not only that, but Russia is doing something that not even the presidents of these countries that these people come from are doing. They are making a way, Russia is making a way for them to go home to Africa. Now, I'm going to say this. Shame on you to the president of Tanzania. I'm going to say this. Shame on you to the president of Nigeria. I'm going to say this. Shame on you to the president of Ghana.
Yes.
Yes, I said shame on you. Because it's our Tanzanian brothers and sisters that are over there. It's our Nigerian brothers and sisters that are over there. It's our Guyana brothers and sisters that are over there. And you leaders in Africa that come from these countries, Ghana, Nigeria, Tanzania, you are doing nothing to help them get out other than make some fabulous speeches on TV and in the news. That's all you're doing. You're not helping them. And shame on you. And to my brothers and sisters in Africa, you better seriously think before you go over there to Africa, and you better know that God, that Yah sent you over there. And the reason why I say that, you better know that Yah is sending you over there to Africa, because if they could do this to our brothers and sisters that are indigenous to the countries that they come from, what you think they're going to do to you?
Wow.
Now, once again, I want to thank Brother Phil Scott. And once again, I want to thank Sister Wanzala for reporting on this. I really appreciate you guys. So let's get into the video and let's get it started. Let me, Jada, you're going to have to let me know if you can hear this video, because I'm going to have to change the screen over.
Gotcha.
And bring it up so we can hear the video. Okay, let's play the video. Here we go. Thank you, Sister Wanzala. And thank you, Brother Phil Scott from the African Diaspora News Channel.
Today's report is about Tanzanian students that were fleeing from Ukraine, reaching Russia, and actually being given a place to stay, clothes to change, and they are being taken care of until humanitarian aid or the corners of these borders to open up for them to leave for their countries. Let me show you this clip from Africa News. We'll come back and discuss.
A group of Tanzanian students fleeing the conflict in Ukraine have arrived in Russia. The students were studying at Sumy State University in northeastern Ukraine when the fighting broke out. The city lies about 48 kilometers from the border with Russia.
The journey was tough because it involved both going by car and on foot. Yes. So we started our journey by car from our hostel in Sumy to somewhere where we dropped off. Then we started walking. Then in the middle of the journey, we took another car to somewhere with the last car that we traveled with, and we started again walking up to the border.
The group of 11 students were given shelter at the Kursk State Medical University in Russia while they await for help from the Tanzanian embassy.
Сегодня ночью прибыли 11 студентов Сумского университета.
11 students of Sumi University arrived at night, students from Tanzania. We welcomed them and took to the hostel number 4 of our university, the Kursk Medical University. They washed, changed clothes, we gave them food, provided a place to sleep, and a thorough medical.
I found it interesting that Russia is helping African students, not just Tanzanians. This report is about Tanzanians, but there are Nigerians and other African students that are reaching Russia. And Russia is actually like, come, welcome, let's give you a place to stay. They are actually dedicating their university of medicine for them to stay in those dorm rooms until they get help and they leave for their country. So it is interesting how things are being handled. In Ukraine, the African students are being treated like they're less than human, and they're not being given a seat at the bus or the train to, escape the situation. But when Africans are fleeing to Russia and Russian borders, they're actually being treated better than in Ukraine. I'm still really surprised by Russia welcoming these students, but we'll keep you updated. It's a bit bizarre because of all the situations that have transpired and we've reported on the discrimination and racism Black people in general have faced in Ukraine. So now for Russia to receive African students and actually treat them with dignity, it's a bit surprising. Anyways, fam, let us know down below what your thoughts are about this. I am Ungil Zalalem.
Now I'm going to stop it right there, family, because we all have seen the videos, family. We all have read newspaper articles about what's going on. Now, this is what I find interesting, because they want to make it seem like in the American news media, they want to make it seem like Russia is the aggressor. Russia is beating up people. Russia is bombing people. But I find it very interesting that for all of our brothers and sisters who are making it to the Russian border, or they are running into Russian soldiers, or they're meeting up at a certain spot where Russian soldiers are waiting for them, family, they are being given a safe haven in Russia. But when we see the Ukrainians dealing with them, we see the Ukrainians beating them up. We see the Ukrainians forcing them off buses. We see the Ukrainians. Phil Scott even has one video where they put arms. They pointed guns at our brothers and sisters. And all we have from these African leaders in the countries that they come from is a bunch of blah, blah, blah. They talking a lot, but they not doing anything. But I'm going to show you what India is doing. Because see, India went in there and they got their people out. Okay, so let's move on to the next time of sharing. And I'm going to show you something else. Let me just make sure I got the screen up for it. And I'm going to show you that. Give me 1 minute. Talk about it, Jada, for a little bit there. Give me a second.
Okay, thank you. Yes, and also my mother, speaking on everything that's going on, and especially about the United States making Russia look bad and not really telling the truth. My mother has a friend in Africa right now, and she's in Ethiopia, and she basically explained to my mother that, yeah, Russia is definitely helping the African students. And here, and of course, Russia does have a history of helping Africans as well as African Americans, especially during the time of, segregation and things of that nature, where a lot of African Americans did flee to Russia to escape the racism and the lynchings here in America. And also now there are a lot of African Americans, when COVID broke out, a lot of African Americans did and still are fleeing to Russia because they're welcoming. So, yeah, definitely that is going on right now as we speak.
Yeah, wasn't that something when I found the video about that and I was telling you about that?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know, Jada, that during the time of segregation in this country at its height, between 1960 and between 1948, I would say, up until 1970s, the early 70s. Segregation in this country was something else. And a lot of African Americans fled to Russia, and they lived a good life in Russia. Russia gave them a safe haven. Also, too, during the time of apartheid.
Yes.
A lot of South African indigenous Africans, they went to Russia, and Russia gave them a safe haven. And you know what? It's so funny because the majority of the people that fled to Russia from America, and the majority of the people that fled to Russia from South Africa, the majority of them never came back.
That's right.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, it's something.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you, family, the reason why I said shame on these African presidents. I'm gonna show you the reason why. Now we know, because we've all seen the videos. We have seen our brothers and sisters from Africa in the Ukraine getting beaten up. We have seen them being pulled off buses. Phil Scott reports that guns are being pointed at him. Phil Scott also too reports about a woman who was in the Ukraine and what happened to her. I don't want to tell the story. You can go and watch it for yourself. And we've all seen the video of the woman that was standing outside with her baby in freezing temperatures, below zero temperatures.
That's right.
We've all seen it, family. How they doing our family. But then they turn around and they want us to donate to them. I don't think so. I don't think so. You want us to donate to your cause? And you treating our family like that? And family, I really got something mind-blowing to show y'all tomorrow. I don't want to speak on it too much, but let me tell you something. The Ukrainians even had the nerve to go to Africa and try to recruit in Africa for their war. So this is the reason why I said shame on some of these African leaders. Because right now you're going to see with the government of Tanzania in Africa, how they're treating their Ukrainian citizens that don't have no money. They broke. They broke. We're going to see how they're treating them. Watch this, family. JD, let me know if you can hear the audio.
Okay.
Tanzania have announced that they are offering protection to hundreds of Ukrainian tourists stranded.
Got the nerve to be offering them protection because they stranded. And they busted. They ain't got no money.
In the archipelago of Zanzibar in the Indian Ocean. Ukraine has closed its airspace to civilian flights following Russia's invasion last week.
My children and my parents in Ukraine. I'm with my husband, and I want to go home to my children and to my husband want to protect our country.
We are idle. We are just like prisoners here. We can't get out. The Tanzanian authorities added that they are currently working on plans to evacuate the Ukrainians to countries such as Poland. Many people have moved from hotels and they have nothing to eat, nothing to drink, and nothing to live on. We turn to this wonderful country that has received us. We have decided to help them. Like personally, I've been hosting 14 Ukrainians who are in need. I'm offering them free accommodation, free meals, and I never charge them even a single cent for their expenses. It is estimated that around 1,000 Ukrainian tourists are currently staying in various hotels in the semi-autonomous region.
Let me tell y'all something, family.
Wow.
These people are not tourists. You even heard the man speaking himself. So even Tanzania is presenting a false narrative concerning these people. You heard the man say it for himself. They ain't got no money. They ain't got no place to stay. So what did he say? He said, we came here.
Right.
So Tanzania is treating Ukrainians that fled the Ukraine better than Ukraine is treating the African students from Tanzania. Can you believe that, family? When are
Mm.
we going to stop allowing other groups of people to use us and abuse us?
That's right.
When are we going to stand up for our people? I know I'm taking my stand, but family, it doesn't stop there, because let me show you what the government of India did. I want to show you this, family. So I'm gonna drop this down, because let me tell you something. India not playing no games. India got on the phone. The president of India got on the phone to Vladimir Putin and asked Vladimir Putin for a ceasefire so that they could get their people out. And I'm gonna show you what the Indian government did. Okay, but before I show you that, let me show you a little bit about what's going on with Indian students and African students. So let me play this video for you. Let me just pull this bad boy up and play this for you.
Wow, that was shocking.
Ain't it something?
Yeah, that's really disturbing.
I remember one time Richmond, brother Richmond from Africa, he said to me, he said, it's the mosquito on your shirt that bites you.
Wow.
And I was like, what? The mosquito on my shirt is going to bite me.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the one standing closest to you, or the one you think that's your best friend.
Right.
That's gonna be the one that betrayed you. Now, our Tanzanian brothers and sisters are being treated one way in the Ukraine. The Ukrainians fled to Africa. They ain't got no money. They ain't got nothing. And look at how much our people is giving them hospitality out the wazoo.
Right.
But yet our brothers and sisters are being hit and beaten and made to stand in freezing European temperatures.
Yes.
With newborn babies.
Newborn, yeah.
Come on now. Come on now. Now watch this, family.
But thousands of them are stranded on the border with Poland. They fled by train, car, or bus, while some walked many miles through the night to reach various border crossings. A medical student said over the phone that they were stopped at a checkpoint by Ukrainian border guards and asked to play a hunter game. When they refused,
Did you hear him say Hunter Games?
Yeah, yes, that's what he said.
Yeah, that's them neo-Nazis. That's Azan over there. Yeah, they think they playing the movie Hunger Games. Let me continue on.
Cops tortured the Indian students who had asthma. Ukrainian cops said all of them would be tortured if their orders were not followed.
हम लोग ने बाद में काफी प्लीड किया हमारे साथ हमारे इंडियन बॉयज ने काफी प्लीड करने के बाद उन्होंने सिर्फ इंडियन गर्ल्स को पहले एक्सेप्ट किया और उसके बाद पुलिस आई और पुलिस ने बहुत मारा इंडियन बॉयज को मारने के बाद they even tortured boys और टॉर्चर कैसे किया जिसको अस्थमा था उसको स्टम करके हम सबको दिखाया कि how he is breathless उसके बाद रात को आई थिंक अराउंड 11-12 बजे और यहाँ पे आने के बाद जो गार्ड्स थे उन्होंने बाद में लाइन में हम लोग अंदर गए तो अंदर वीजा में देयर इज सम गेम कुछ तो जो आपको खेलना है हंटर गेम का गेम मुझे नहीं पता वो क्या होता है उधर जाने के बाद वो रॉड लेके खड़े थे गन लेके खड़े थे और फिर उसके बाद हमें उन्होंने बोला कि दिस इज यू हैव टू आपको ये गेम खेलना है उससे वीजा मिलेगा और जो लोग वहाँ पे थे उनको लात से मारा है हाथ से मारा है लड़का लड़की कुछ नहीं देख रहे यहाँ पे.
For Indians, the Poland border poses a big hurdle. Forensic.
Now I'm gonna stop it right there because I want to show you another video. But you heard her when she said the N boy because they don't understand that. So that's why she said the N boy. So it's not just the Indians, it's the N boys also too. And we know what that's code for. We know what that's code for. Right, family? Absolutely. So and I want to give credit to Times of India because that's where this information is coming out from. And I want to say fair use also too. I want to make sure I say fair use. But let's move on to the next time of sharing. But you can see them being beaten up. You can see one boy being dragged in that video. Now let's see what the government of India did. Because see, the government of India, they did what African leaders are not doing. They went in and they got their people. They called Vladimir Putin up and they asked him for a ceasefire so that they can go in and they can get their people.
Wow.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah. And this, whoa, Jada, wait till you see this.
Oh my goodness.
It's really something here. Okay, remember, these are Indian and our brothers and sisters from Africa. And this is ION. I want to give a shout out to ION for what they are reporting. Okay, and then we're going to see what India did versus what our African leaders did for the people. Okay, here we go.
Leadership into action. It has launched a massive evacuation plan to get these students back home at the earliest. It's being called Operation Ganga, an initiative to airlift Indian students to safety. Helming this initiative will be 4 union ministers. They will look after evacuations from 4 different countries. Union Law Minister Kiren Rijiju will head to Slovakia. Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia will manage Moldova and Romania. Petroleum and Housing Minister Hardeep Singh Puri will go to Hungary, and Minister of State of Road Transport VK Singh will look after Poland. A dedicated Twitter handle has also been created along with 20 centers. They will provide students with details of the next flight out. On Saturday, India sent its first evacuation flight under Operation Ganga. It brought back 219 Indians from Romania's capital, Bucharest, to Mumbai. On Sunday, the second evacuation flight carrying 250 Indians landed in New Delhi. The third flight evacuated 240 Indians from Budapest. The fourth and fifth flights flew 198 and 249 Indians, respectively. On Monday, the sixth flight left Delhi for Bucharest. It is expected to come back with at least 240 Indian nationals. As for those who have returned, they say this mission has reinstated their faith in the Indian government.
It was really unexpected. We knew something was going on, but we never expected explosions of tankers to come there. So really thankful to the government for organizing flights and everything, for helping us. And it's just because of the government that we are able to come here.
Operation Ganga is expected to continue for the next 1 month. Indigo, SpiceJet, Air India Express, along with several other carriers, have been roped in. The Indian Air Force, too, has been put on standby for help if the need arises.
We will leave no stone unturned until every single one of our citizens are back safely back home in India. So please pass this message on to all your friends, all your colleagues, that we are with them and we will guarantee their safe passage back.
I'm going to stop it right there, family.
Wow.
It's Jada.
Wow.
Isn't that something? The Indian government, they mobilized quickly when the video reached them about what was going on with their Indian citizens in the Ukraine.
Wow.
We saw the video of not only Indians, Asian Indians being beaten up and tortured. We also too saw that it was our brothers and sisters too, because the Indian girl said the N-word. You know what I'm saying? But look, India called out the top level executives in their government by name.
Right.
And they each had their own little role to play in each country to get their people out. India even brought in their military to help get their people out. You just heard the man say that we will not stop until every Indian is back home in the country, right?
That's what he said.
Now, let me tell you something. Like I said before, the president of India called up Vladimir Putin, and he asked Vladimir Putin for a ceasefire so that they can go in and that they can get their own people. Here's his catch. Here's the catch, Jada. With Russian soldiers.
Wow.
With Russian soldiers, the Indian military went in and got them kids out of there.
Wow.
And you saw it said on day 1, on day 2, They've been going in there every day. Every time they ask Vladimir Putin for a ceasefire, Vladimir Putin gives it to them. They go in there and they get their people out. When they got their number of people out for that day, Vladimir Putin started bombing again.
Yeah, he did.
So let me ask you a question, Jada. Why can't these African leaders do the same thing? I'm going to tell you why. They don't want to. Because they could have done the same exact thing for our brothers and sisters. Right now, they can reach out. Right now, Vladimir Putin has given our African brothers and sisters, if they can make it to the border of Ukraine and Russia, if they can make it to a Russian soldier, that Russian soldier is supposed to get them. And if they want a safe haven, bring them back to Russia. And they allowing them to stay in a medical facility in Russia and giving them food and giving them clothes and making sure they're all right. And making sure they get in contact with their families. But you mean to tell me that the president of Ghana, you mean to tell me that the president of Nigeria, and that idiot, and I'm calling you an idiot, president of Nigeria, because you volunteered soldiers to go and fight for Ukraine.
Right.
You are so in the pocket of America and her allies over there in Europe that you sell out your own people.
Right.
And I mean what I say, and I say what I mean.
That's right.
And you got the foolish president of Tanzania offering Ukrainians fleeing Russia asylum in Tanzania, putting them up in some nice hotels, paying for their food and their lodging.
Right.
And giving them money. And the whole time they racist against you.
Right. And then they complaining. You heard what that woman said. I just want to go home. I don't want to be here.
You know what? If she really wanted to go home, and if she really didn't want to be there, then why, when the fighting started, did she get on a plane and leave?
Exactly. She should have stayed up behind right where her cold country was.
Exactly. Her third world country in Europe is.
Right. But then you want to sit up
make no mistake about it, Ukraine is a third world country in Europe.
Right. Mouth almighty.
I'm going to show you some stuff in the upcoming days, family. But I had to share this with you. I'm a little passionate right now, family, because you know what, family? It really upsets me because my heart goes out to all my brothers and sisters. And to see my brothers and sisters being beaten up, to see guns pointed at my brothers and sisters, to see my brothers and sisters being made to stand out in the cold with babies and children in freezing European temperatures.
Right.
To see them being kicked off of the trains and knocked off of the trains. And you know what? The news media in America, they showing you Ukrainians boarding buses. Ukrainians boarding buses. But you know what? Tell me one time where you seen a black face. Tell me one time American news media showed you a black face boarding those same buses with the Ukrainians. I'll wait. Because you're not going to find it.
That's right.
Now, tomorrow, I'm going to show you, family, that the news media in America, they are so full of it. Because they put up there that, you know, when you see the Ukrainians standing outside and they're getting food and stuff like that, you know, you've seen it on the news. No, those are not Ukrainians that are feeding those people. Those are Russians. That's the Russian army feeding Ukrainians. Wow. That are not neo-Nazis. And we're going to get into the neo-Nazi part about it because, you know, I've been talking to you guys on Facebook. I've been making posts about the neo-Nazis on Facebook for about a month now.
Right.
But now that I'm feeling better, I'm going to show you some videos. I'm going to show you some stuff, family. Because not only do you have Izon, you got RAM. That's another neo-Nazi group, fraction. In the Ukraine. There's about 5 of them. And let me tell you something else, family. They have a camp that is done in the same fashion that Adolf Hitler did his camp for children in the Ukraine, in eastern Ukraine, right outside of Kyiv.
Wow.
Vladimir Putin is strategically targeting Mariupol and Kyiv for a reason. And that's because that is the center of where the neo-Nazis are. Those 2 townships in eastern Ukraine. And I'm going to show you tomorrow. All right, family. Love you so much. And we will talk to you another time. Thank you.
Thank you, family.
Have a good night. And bye-bye.
Bye.